What is up, guys? Today we have another video for you. It is this grids about me video games, okay? This is popular right now. I've seen people posting it and I thought, I made one already and I sent it to some friends, but then I realized the more I thought about it, the more that I was like, "Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think I like other answers to other things, and I want to explain my answers. So this could be a bit of a longer video, rant warning, crash out warning, all that good stuff. But I think is it going to work? I think we all know Mass Effect, the series. This is the hard part for me, is Mass Effect as a series. If you ask me, is Mass Effect 1 your favorite game? Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, are they your individually, is one of those your favorite game? No. But as a whole, it is by far my favorite game of all time. The whole Mass Effect series, not necessarily including Andromeda, but the game itself, the whole entirety of it, I have to put in favorite game. I don't care if you think, well, that's a game series, not a game, baby. Piss off. Oh, man. No, but for real, you could piss off. All right. So then it comes to best story. And to be honest with you, it's Mass Effect again. It just is. I don't know if there's another game that I like as much as Mass Effect story-wise. Actually, there is. There's another game that could be in this spot, and it's Expedition 33. I get really caught up on best story because I think Mass Effect has one of the best stories ever told, though the ending is not ideal. But I feel the same way about Expedition 33. The whole story of Expedition 33 is amazing, but the final situation makes the game so convoluted story-wise that I think it detracts from, I loved it, but it detracts from, is this the best story? It just becomes difficult for me to pick that. We might have to revisit best story because I'm stuck between Mass Effect as a whole and Expedition 33 for best story. There's lots of other games that have amazing storylines, in my opinion. But the thing is that it doesn't always make sense. Some storylines are really good, but they don't make sense. I think of a game like Telltale Walking Dead Season 1. Amazing story, but certain parts of it aren't my favorite or don't make the most sense or all those, blah, blah, blah. As I scroll through the list of games they have, Last of Us Part 1 had a great story, but then with Last of Us 2 completely ruined that storyline for me for a lot of reasons. But right now, I'm Mass Effect's ending. I just think there's so many details to the Mass Effect story that are more impactful, more details, more storylines, more interaction with different races and politics and favoritism things. And Mass Effect has so many more details than Expedition 33 that I like the story of Mass Effect better, and why I think everybody should play Mass Effect. Spoiler alert, there's a game everyone should play is probably going to be Mass Effect as well. But the storyline of all of that and the plot twists and the DLCs even and characters changing and growing and all these different things. Expedition 33 had a phenomenal story, but that ending with how frustrating the ending actually was for me, how frustrating the ending actually is, I think I detract that from Expedition, even though I loved it and it was amazing. Favorite art style. This one is another really difficult choice for me. My first instinct, what I picked last time, what I would pick again, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. I remember playing this game for the first time when it came out, and the graphics were mind-blowing. It was so beautiful, so incredible. I I loved everything about it. There's another game that I would potentially put in this spot. And I've played it before, but I'm recently playing through on the channel. But the scenery of Red Dead Redemption 2, because I'm an outdoor guy, I'm a hunter, I'm all these things. I love out west and the idea of all of it. Seeing those hills and the graphics of the game and the mountains and all these things, it looks so unreal, but that might be because of the setting they picked, not necessarily because of the art style. I think another beautiful game, another beautiful game to me, art style, is Batman Arkham Knight. I think it has such cool visuals. I love the aesthetic. It is really dark and it gets a little redundant for me, but I still think it's incredible. Those three games automatically just jump to the forefront of my mind. Obviously, Expedition 33, I think, is a beautiful game and has a cool art style, but it was a little bit rough around the edges for me at certain moments. So this is a really difficult decision for me. Man, I might, maybe this is recency bias. Favorite art style might be Red Dead. Just the graphic quality, everything, the horses, the animals, the wildlife, the nature scenes, everything about it. Now, there could be games where you look at unique art styles, then I love the Telltale series Wolf Among Us, which is, it's going to pop up again on this list. But this art style is so unique and incredible to me. However, I don't know if it's my favorite. I just don't know if it actually is truly my favorite. I might just go with Red Dead. I don't know. This one's a really tough decision for me. Biggest personal impact. This one, you guys are going to hate this. Expedition 33 is what comes to the forefront of my mind. But before Expedition 33, what impacted me the most is Mass Effect. With the decisions you have to make, the quandaries, the ultimatums you have to choose and decide, politically speaking, and it's incredible. But Expedition 33, I literally went for a week of like literally journaling about the deeper effect that this game had on me. You might think I'm crazy for that, but legit, like the moral quandary of the final decision, fight as Mayel, fight as Verso, I didn't know what to do. And I talked to literally some of my closest confidants that I asked for advice in life. I was like, what would you decide? And I told them the whole game. And then I said, what would you decide at the end? This game might have had the biggest personal impact on me. It legit, I don't know. Mass Effect had a huge impact on me. It's definitely more of a tie. I don't need earbuds in. Where are my earbuds in? Anyway, it might be more of a tie, but since I gave best story to Mass Effect, I'm going to give biggest personal impact to Expedition. Best combat. Now, for me, this one really is a toss-up because I'm a Call of Duty guy, right? I'm a Call of Duty guy. I love Call of Duty. I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing. I play it every year, and I think there's certain CODs that feel better than others. So if this best combat was just gunplay and combat like that, I would be picking one of the Call of Duties. But if you're talking about a role-playing game or like story-based game, Batman Arkham Knight is one of my favorite games for that. Actually, recently, I completed this game, and Spider-Man Miles Morales was one of my favorite combat experiences in video games. If we're talking shooting games, FPS games, obviously I'm going to pick a Call of Duty, and the Call of Duty that I think had the best feeling gunplay might be Black Ops 3, actually. Black Ops 3 felt amazing. I loved Advanced Warfare, but there wasn't that many guns you can use in Advanced Warfare. At least Black Ops 3, there was so many different guns you could use, and I think the gunplay was just significantly better in Black Ops 3. But when we come to just hand-to-hand story-based game, Best combat goes to maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales. I just love the combos, the different tools that you can use. There was times where it didn't feel as smooth, and I understand it's just kind of mashing the same buttons, right? But it really felt great. Same with Arkham Knight. It's like just mashing buttons, but the way the character flows and moves and the combat visuals are incredible. But I got to be honest with you guys, I'm through and through. I am. Where is it? There it is. I'm a Call of Duty guy, so I'm going Call of Duty on this. Overhated. I wonder, what did I pick in my original list for overhated? If you guys will give me a second to look at this. What did I put for... Oh, that's what I put for overhated. Yo, so I could put another Call of Duty here, to be honest with you. This is not what I put in the last one, but I could easily put Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I think this is one of the best CODs ever made, hands down. The game was fun. It was exciting. It wasn't as versatile because it's like ASM1 and BAL, and that's it, basically. You couldn't use anything else. They buffed the IMR, but even the IMR wasn't as good as the BAL and the ASM1, and jumping, the rocket or the exosuits and all these different things. But this game was so much fun, and I think it's one of the most hated CODs of all time, but I still think it's one of the best CODs. You could also throw Call of Duty Ghosts in there, but there's a game that I played, and I never finished completely, but I plan on finishing someday. And what I want to throw on there might surprise some people, but Star Wars Outlaws got a ton of hate, and I was playing it and live streaming it at the time. I remember it vividly, and people would come in and be like, "What do you think of the game?" And I'd be like, "I love it. I don't get the hate. I don't understand the hate." People's biggest complaints about it was the stealth, and it's like, well, it's a stealth game. What do you expect? If it's a stealth game, then don't buy it if you don't want to play a stealth game. So, I think it was overhated for sure. I'm not saying it's like the greatest game of all time, but I definitely think it was better than what people said, for sure. Now, underrated. This gets difficult. I got to keep pulling up my original list here to look at this. What did I put for overrated? Or underrated. Dang. This is tough. This is really tough here. Oh, man. I think there's a game that everybody slept on because it ended up getting sunset, and it breaks my heart. But Spectre Divide was probably my favorite FPS game more than any Call of Duty. Spectre Divide was probably one of my favorite FPS games of all time, and I played it for about a month before it got sunset on console, and it broke my heart. I love Spectre Divide. I think it's one of the most underrated games out there. Yeah, I just think it's severely underrated. People don't give it enough credit. It deserves more. It deserves more love. It really does. There's another game that I guess I could maybe throw on here in underrated. I don't think I'm going to remove Spectre Divide, though. But another game that could go in underrated, because I think that people play it, love it, but I don't think it was played enough, is Firewatch. I think that game is really good. It's a little bit more of a walking simulator-esque type game, but it was really good, and I just don't think it got enough love. I know that the developer who made it had a little bit of beef and problems with some people because of they were definitely jagbags about something. So I don't know if I love it and want to give it props for that. Now, overrated. Here we go. Let's make people mad. Skyrim. I've tried, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've played this game. I've started this game. I got decently far in the game. I think the combat sucks. I think the art style sucks. The story is good. The interaction, the freedom, the moving around the game, awesome, great, cool, incredible. Don't get me wrong, incredible, but really, really, really overrated in my book. I don't think it's that great of a game. I understand it changed people's lives in some way, shape, or form, but it's not for me. Needs a remake. This one's tough because it's not remaster, it's a remake. This becomes extremely difficult for me to try to decide what to do here. Genuinely. I'm not 100% sure. I know what I put on my list, but needs a remake. Just a complete overhaul, not just remaster, remake. This is what I had on here before. This is what I had on there on my original one. Okay? Is Old Republic. I think it needs a remake. I think we need a good Old Republic video game back out. And I think this was a good game. I played it a little bit. I never finished it, but I think it's a really good game. Knights of Old Republic, I think, is a great game. But I'm going to leave it in there because it's hard for me to decide. I don't know. Needs a remake. It's just... Man. Selfishly, actually... what was this game called? Was this it? I don't know if this was the game or not. Ultimate Alliance 3. This might not be the game that I'm thinking of, but there was a game that I played at my brother-in-law's house. He had it on PS3, and it was a co-op game where you each picked your own hero and you went through levels, and you could be Wolverine or Iron Man or whoever, and it was an old game, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it in forever, but it was amazing. I loved it. Being able to couch co-op games, basically a bunch of those need remade, so you could just couch co-op things, but needs a remake. Definitely up there. Criminally Overlooked. This is easy for me. No doubt. Criminally Overlooked is Wolf Among Us. There is no more overlooked game out there. People who have forgotten how goated Telltale was. Now, they had some misses. I think the Game of Thrones Telltale was the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale, Tales of the Borderlands, goated. Walking Dead series fell off a bit, but was goated for a little bit. Wolf Among Us never got a second season. Did they even finish the first season of this? I don't know. But this, for those that don't know, it's a fairy tale world that is dark, grim, and you're like a detective solving something. I don't know if you're a detective, but you're solving a mystery. And it's like a deep underworld, inappropriate and a lot of swearing. But the game was unreal. The premise, unreal. The graphics, unreal. The mystery, unreal. And Telltale's formula for games is amazing. But Criminally Overlooked, we deserved more from Wolf Among Us. I guess we're just never going to do it. Favorite protagonist is where I have a hard time. I have a really hard time with favorite protagonist because there's not always a great... There's not always a great answer to this, in my opinion, because I think every protagonist has flaws. But I know what answer I have for this one. But there's a caveat, okay? So The Witcher 3 is probably my favorite protagonist, which is Geralt of Rivia, the butcher of... Oh, my word. Geralt of Rivia, butcher of... What's the name? Crap, I forgot. So one of the reasons, moving on, one of the reasons why I love Geralt so much, yes, the game is incredible. Anybody who doesn't, I understand if people don't like the combat, okay? But even watching, if you don't like the combat, but watch the playthrough of this game. This game took what Mass Effect did and just made it a little higher quality. Legit, with the decision making that impacts the storyline in a great political sense, and the overarching theme of everything, the other characters and how well they're written. Oh my word, it's just unreal. And I've read actually like the first 3 books, which is also why I love Geralt so much. Because the books go way deeper into who Geralt is, and the games are obviously based on the books. So I got to put them on there. Favorite antagonist. Who did I have for this one? I'm curious. Who did I have? Oh, yeah. This one I had a very hard time with because I'm trying to think of games where I really liked the protagonist. Obviously, it would be very easy to pick Batman and have the Joker, because I think the Joker in the video games is second to animated. Well, no, I think Joker in the video games is probably the best version of Joker. Heath Ledger number 2, animated series number 3, Jared Leto never on the list. So moving on from that. But really, favorite antagonist has to be Pagan Min. I remember playing this game for the first time. There's some nostalgia value for this and good memories with my friend Thad. We played games together and it was unreal. We played this one and it was hilarious. One of my favorite games to play with friends. It's not going to be the best with friends, but it's up there. But yeah, Pagan Min was a great antagonist. Great. For sure. I could spend time trying to brainstorm of other antagonists. Obviously, I think Garrus is really cool from Mass Effect 1. Expedition 33 could easily go in this one too, because you don't know who the antagonist really is. Like, you think it's the Paintress, and then you find out it's the dad. Well, then it's not. Then it's Mael and Verso. Then it just changes all the time. And so the antagonistic point of view is like, am I the antagonist? Which then I'm my favorite. No, but yeah, I think if you didn't ask me favorite antagonist, but just favorite villain arc or experience or bad guy experience, favorite bad guy experience, it would be probably Expedition 33. Because I just think it's an incredible moral quandary that you go through in this game. But if you're saying pick an evil character, pardon me, then I might go Pagan Min. Okay? I might go Pagan Min. Because wait, I'm trying to think. No, yeah, best soundtrack. This is easy. Come on, guys. It's Expedition 33. There's no other. This is what I put on my last one, right? Yeah. There's no other one. There's no other one. I have the Clair Obscur Expedition 33 vinyl collector's edition, custom. Each disc is in a sleeve that has its own custom art on it. Someday I'm going to have them all on my wall. And they'll be in the background of like a video or something, besides this mess that I have back here from my Whatnot shows. But best soundtrack, easily. So best multiplayer. This one is tough because I could easily put Spectre Divide because it's my favorite FPS game that I ever played. Tied kind of with Call of Duty. I could put Call of Duty, but it falls short at sometimes. But then I could go out of left field and try to pick something that I think did multiplayer the best. So do I go with what I think did multiplayer the best, what my favorite multiplayer is, or like, I don't know what this one is asking. If you're asking me what is the best multiplayer game of all time, okay, not necessarily my favorite, but what I think is actually did multiplayer the best and is the best multiplayer game of all time, I think it's WoW. I don't think anything compares to WoW when it comes to multiplayer. I think League of Legends is up there for competitive multiplayer games. I think Call of Duty is up there, and the reason why I put Call of Duty above Halo is just because Call of Duty's longevity. They produce a COD every year, which is good and bad, but they hold a player base And most of the time you're keeping players playing Call of Duty, and Halo, won in the last how many years, and people just crapped on it, basically. Like, Halo has not withstood the test of time, which is crazy to me. I thought it would. But World of Warcraft isn't my favorite multiplayer of all time. I think Spectre Divide and Call of Duty are my favorites, but if you're asking me what I think is the best multiplayer of all time, World of Warcraft, Minecraft might be second, League of Legends is up there because it takes over the world. Not usually my thing. This is another easy one for me. It's Expedition 33. I don't like turn-based games. I don't like having to do the parry and the attacks, and also the leveling up, how they do the level up the characters and abilities and all this stuff. It's just a little complex, and you have to look up videos and do all this stuff. That's not usually my thing. I don't love that. I like a simple skill tree, or just automatically upgrade my character like Red Dead does, and as you do things, farm skills and whatnot. That's more my style, but also turn-based generally not my thing. So turn my brain off. This one could be three different things. UFC 4. You could pick just about any sport game, but the sport game that I've probably played the most all time is Madden 21, because I don't even put on a headset half the time. I'll throw on a movie, I'll throw on a podcast, I'll put work on, and I will just play Madden. I love Madden. I love franchise mode. I just create a character and try to win Super Bowls. It is my go-to game for turning my brain off. Call of Duty used to be that for me. I'd pop on music and just turn my brain off and just randomly run through pubs. It's become too competitive, and the game become too sweaty and too garbage and trash. This year's COD has fallen off huge. I think it started out great. I thought this year's COD was good, and then it completely fell off. But Madden's got to be turned my brain off. Not necessarily turn my brain off, okay, but also like zone out and just play for a while is definitely, actually, it technically would be a retro game. So I'm going to save it. Never mind. Best with friends. This one is difficult. I can think of so many that are best with friends. But Arc Raiders comes to mind. Arc Raiders is so much fun to play with my friends. I love playing Arc Raiders. I love playing Arc Raiders with my friends. It is garbage alone. It is a garbage. I don't think Arc Raiders is good anymore. I was hyped on it. I loved it. It was fun to play, but it's only fun to play if I'm playing with friends. But it's not the best to play with friends. It's not. Call of Duty, Warzone, Fortnite comes to mind. These are games that are way more, almost every game is just better with friends. But what is the best game to play with friends? Smash Bros comes to mind. Man. Gang Beasts, that game is hilarious. Drawful. There's so many games that you could play with friends. Arc Raiders. The reason why I want to put Arc Raiders there is because it's a necessity to have friends. Well, so are some of the other games I listed, but it's just Minecraft playing with friends. I can't play solo. I can't do Minecraft. I just can't. But best with friends is so tough. It's gotta be best with friends. Helldivers was the same thing. Couldn't solo that game. I had to play with friends. I could pick any game for this. It's only good if you play with friends. So many games fall into that category. It's hard to pick the best one. To be honest, I could just pick Call of Duty. Call of Duty, for sure. I could easily just pick Call of Duty. Black Ops, Cold War. You know how much fun I had with friends in that game? Private matches. Sub battles, prop hunt, private lobby prop hunt, pubs, ranked play. Cold War probably is the best COD in the last 10 years to play with my friends. 100%. Now, retro game, I randomly had a shout here because this is technically a game that's been around for a long time, and I play it every day, is chess. I play on chess.com. Yes, that's modern, but it is a retro game at its root. And I think it's the best retro game of all time. 100%. I did have Mario Kart on N64 on here. I could go with Mission Impossible on N64. I could go with a whole bunch of games from N64 or even Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario World, all that stuff way back. But really, I think chess is the best one. Nostalgic childhood game. This one is one that I just said. It's Mario Kart 64. I played this all the time with my sisters and siblings. We did battles. We did everything. We did everything on there that you could do. Game that everyone should play. It's easy to make this decision for me. It's Mass Effect, the entire series. Everybody, except for maybe Andromeda. I didn't finish Andromeda. I do plan on finishing it. But everybody should play Mass Effect. I think that it should be a requirement for people to play in school. I'm dead serious because of, I did a video once called Masterpiece, because Mass Effect Masterpiece, and I talk about the cultural impact that this game can have on a human being. Like, especially basically post Harambe dying and everything we've been through politically in our world, culturally, in the last decade. It hasn't quite been a decade, but in the last decade, give or take, this game, it challenges the way you view the world and what decisions you make and what is the best for the world versus this versus that. Plus, it has some great characters, dialogue, storytelling. It is just without a doubt perfect. But yeah, that's it. That's my grid. That's my About Me video games grid. Let me know what you guys think below. Obviously, some of these I think are objective, where it's like best multiplayer I took as objective. I picked not necessarily my favorite multiplayer, but what I think is the best multiplayer. Then some of these are subjective, ones that I personally just favorite game, best story, best combat, biggest impact, criminally overlooked. Some of these are just my opinions, but I would love to know yours below. Please let me know. God bless you. We'll see you in the next one.